Have you ever found yourself thinking, I should post something today? But that thought stirs up dread or exhaustion. Well, chances are it's time to take social media off of your plate. And so in this episode, we are going to walk through the 5 secret signs that it is time to outsource your social media and get it off your to do list for good. So I'm sure you can understand, like, thinking about all the things in your business, all the things in your life as a mom, it's a lot. It feels like a lot because it is a lot. And social media, honestly, is a full time job. And you didn't start your business to be a content creator. So the time spent on your phone, thinking about captions, scrolling for trending audio, trying to keep up with the trends, understanding the platforms, looking at the algorithm or trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's a lot. And it leads to creative exhaustion, feeling tired all the time, dreading creating content, or just constantly moving create social media post to the bottom of your list. And I know you think, like, this is just how it is. This is what I have to do. This is what being a business owner is all about. But this nonstop stress is not a badge of honor. It's a warning sign that you're headed towards burnout. And if we ignore these feelings, you're not just risking your mental health, but your business, because the energy that you show up with out in social media, online, on the internet, is the energy you're putting out into the world, which is attracting your ideal clients and bringing them to you. So if your energy is drained by thinking about social media, that's going to show up in your content. And you are an expert in your field. You didn't start your business to be a content creator. But so many business owners fall into the trap of, like, I have to do it all. I am the designer, I'm the copywriter, I'm an editor, I'm a community manager, I'm a strategist all at once. And as the CEO and the business owner, yes, you are at the helm. But do you have to be the one drawing the map, making every turn, checking the directions, loading the car, getting the gas? I'm really, like, grasping at this analogy, but you get what I'm saying. You don't have to be the one doing it all. And successful founders know that outsourcing isn't a weakness. It's actually a strategic move to get you back into doing more things that are in your zone of genius, that light you up, that give you energy, and give you the opportunity to be the creative CEO and visionary that you know you can be. So today we're going to walk through the 5 secret signs, beyond just the fact that you're busy, that your current social media approach is actually hurting your business. So, number 1, we've already talked about it a little bit, but that deep, soul-crushing exhaustion about creating content. Listen, I know that you know your audience. I know that you can create social media content. You've done it, but you're tired and your content calendar is blank, or maybe it's sporadic. You resort to maybe repurposing old content more than you maybe should. Your content feels boring or uninspired. And then ultimately, the data is telling you maybe your engagement has gotten really quiet. Maybe your reach has dropped off. Maybe we're not driving traffic to your website. Maybe your audience isn't growing. And so that data makes you feel bad. And so then you're not feeling great or confident, which means now you're uninspired and now you're even more discouraged. So when we outsource or we bring in an outside expert, it brings fresh eyes, new ideas, renewed energy, breaking that cycle and reigniting the passion for your brand. One of our clients that we onboarded, she was like, I'm just so exhausted from social media. It's just draining me so much. And when we onboarded her and created a plan and created a content calendar for her, she was like, oh my gosh, I have so many more ideas now. And she was able to pour more energy into her podcast and launch a new resource for her clients and feel energized and excited about launching her signature offer again, because she wasn't constantly thinking about, what the heck am I going to post? So, sign number 2, your posting is wildly inconsistent. Your social media presence is probably feeling like, I do really well, I'm posting consistently, and then I go 2-3 weeks, maybe longer, not showing up. And you might feel like you have to tell your audience, like, oh my gosh, things have just been so crazy, or I know I've been gone for a while. But at the end of the day, your audience doesn't care. And I hate to say that, like, I'm not saying that to be mean, but your audience is looking for what's in it for them. And you don't have to re-announce, like, I'm going to be back or I'm going to take a break. What you need to do is you need to be consistent, because consistency builds trust. And consistency ensures that we are creating content that is relevant and available for her in her customer journey right now. So, consistent doesn't have to mean constant. And obviously, we want to pick a cadence that you can be consistent with without burning out. But we also have to consider, are you being intense enough to achieve your business goals? And you might be like, Ruthie, what are you talking about? Let me give you an analogy around a marathon. You can be consistently training for a marathon by walking around the block once a week. You're like, I am consistently walking around the block. But walking around the block once a week is not going to get you to your goal of being ready to run 26 miles. On the flip side, you might say, okay, I want to run 26 miles. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to go out and I'm going to run 3 miles a day every day. And then next week, I'm going to run 4 miles a day every day. And then the next week, I'm going to run 5 miles a day every day. And you have not been running. So doing that leads to injury, exhaustion, or burnout. So it's not an intensity that you can be consistent with. So that balance between a pace we can keep up with and a pace that moves the needle towards our goals, and then really being consistent with that pace so that our audience begins to trust us. We're not forgettable. We're showing up and they're seeing us, and we are top of mind. You're top of mind when they're ready to make that decision to buy. And outsourcing helps because you have a dedicated professional and team ensuring that content goes out on schedule. We are creating both evergreen content and timely content based upon what's going on in the world, so that we're always putting content out there. And you're creating trust with both the algorithm and your audience, keeping you top of mind. Now, sign number 3, you might be drowning in time confetti. And you're like, wait, what is time confetti? Also, confetti sounds fun. Is this really a problem? Well, time confetti is shredding your workday into tiny, useless pieces of like little tasks here and there. And when it comes to social media, it's like, oh, I'm just going to do a post really quick. And so then we snap some pictures, or we take a B-roll, or we film a reel, or we reply to comments, or we scroll for ideas. But those little pieces add up. And that time confetti actually robs you of focused, deep work time. And so, what often happens when you treat your social media in a way where you're squeezing it into the cracks of your day, you're not getting that big picture vision and strategy of like the whole 10,000 square foot view, 10,000 foot view of what is this post's job? How does it fit into the overall map of what we're trying to do for our messaging? And it's just kind of checking the box and throwing spaghetti at the wall. And it also leads to mental exhaustion, because the task switching can lead to burnout and the feeling of being perpetually behind or of not actually having anything done. So outsourcing helps because you get to reclaim your focused time. You're handing off these fragmented tasks to experts who do them all day, every day, and it's their zone of genius. And then you get to go back to being the visionary leader in your business again. Now, I'm not saying it means you're never going to have to create a piece of content ever again. You're still going to have to create some content, whether that means long form content, podcasts, or blogs, whether that means filming some short video or taking some photos or working with your team on content creation. We still need you, but maybe not every week, maybe once a month. And then that way you can time block it and have a plan and a team that is creating that plan. So you just have to show up, sparkle in your zone of genius, and we can take it from there. So sign number 4 is if you have no idea of what's actually working. So you cannot connect your social media efforts to a tangible return on investment. And you don't know if what you're doing is leading to clicks, leading to sales, leading to customer loyalty. You're like posting and praying. You throw content out there, you're hoping it works, but you're not necessarily tracking key performance indicators. You might be looking at metrics. You might be paying attention to likes, followers, comments, but are we really taking those metrics and analyzing what do they mean for our business goals? What are they key performance indicators of? So, effective social media, it's a science and an art, and it requires clear goals, regular data tracking, and a strategy that is constantly being optimized. And I feel like optimized is like this buzzword in the marketing world, but really what it means is taking the strategy and adjusting it, because a strategy is not set in stone. It is a needle pointing in the direction that we want to go. And just like an airplane flying to its destination, sometimes the course might need to shift because there's a storm or there's another plane or gosh, I am full of the analogies today, but you get what I'm saying. This strategy is going to be shifting constantly, and we're using that data to determine how and where it needs to shift. So outsourcing helps because it brings an expert who looks at that data all the time into your corner. It brings a team who understands what the data means, who understands when is it that the data is telling us we need to make a change? When is it that the data is telling us we just need to give it more time? When is it that we are like needing to make a slight shift? When is it that we need to abandon and start from scratch? Because we are in the industry and constantly looking at social media, we're able to compare your metrics and KPIs to industry benchmarks, to other clients that we work with. And sometimes the changes that you see are an industry wide trend. And so it's not that you're even doing anything wrong, it's that we need to react to what's happening in the market and in the industry. And when you have 10,000 other things on your plate, client work, financials, looking at your own calendar, mapping out that next big idea, hiring another team member to serve your clients, whatever it is, digging into that data is one of those tasks that honestly can often just get pushed to the bottom of the to-do list. And then we don't have the data to inform our decisions. And so we're just continuing to have a guessing game and not making the most of the content that we're creating. So you might be nodding along with all of these signs, these 4 signs, and saying like, "Yeah, I'm starting to feel like that. I'm thinking maybe it is time to outsource." So I would like you to stay tuned. We're working on a tool for you called the Delegation Download, which is a private podcast of how to prep your business for effectively outsourcing social media, because it is so much more than just handing it off to a VA or bringing on an intern and say, "Hey, can you handle my social media?" No, no, no. It's listen, they say social media is not rocket science, but like it's a lot. And handing it off to a junior team member or an inexperienced freelancer or VA who is not an expert is not always the next right step. And you, as the business owner, need to be able to set that team up for success or that person up for success. And so the delegation download is going to walk you through how to successfully delegate your social media. So stay tuned, it's coming in September. But I want to get back to our list of signs, and the 5th sign, which is probably the one that we aren't talking about or we aren't saying out loud, but it is the most serious. And it is the grind of social media and the hamster wheel of content creation is causing you to resent your business. You are passionate about the mission that you have, but this heavy burden of like, I just have to keep feeding the dang algorithm has you feeling like, ugh, I don't want to do it anymore. And then that anxiety rolls over into other things. So you're not showing up with your best energy. I remember a client of mine that we onboarded a few years ago. She was in a creative field and she was a baker and she wasn't actually posting consistently, but just the thought and the shame she was feeling of like, oh, I should be posting. I need to create content. I need to get that post up there was weighing her down, so that once we took over social media for her, we started creating the content for her and she no longer had to think about it. She actually felt lighter and more energized in the kitchen and was able to turn out and create even more amazing products for her customers because her energy was back and the burnout was stopped because that thing that was draining her was taken off of her plate. And here's the thing about social media. We have our phones with us all the time. We are looking at whether it's the platforms, our email, the notifications, the texts. We're using our phones to communicate with our families and our clients. So social media, like it's always there. Like we can't just put it away. And yes, we can take it off of our phone. Yes, we can put limits on it, but it's hard because the platforms are designed to keep you on the platforms. And so you find yourself constantly opening your phone, scrolling for ideas, looking to see, did somebody like that post? Did anybody comment on what I'm saying? Who's watching my stories? And those habits are just fueling the exhaustion, the burnout, and the resentment. And you feel like you can't stop because you're like, well, I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be marketing my business. So instead of social media becoming being a tool that is a integrated piece of your overall marketing plan, it's like a tool that's hurting you and it's destroying the love that you have for your business and your mission. And I know that you've probably considered like, I'm just going to screw it. I'm just getting off social media. I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm going to throw my phone in the lake and who cares? But you also know that your clients are on social media. And even if they're not finding you there, they're not discovering you there. Maybe for you, social media is more of a middle of funnel tool to nurture your audience. You know that people are on social media and that potential client might be looking for that content that she needs to help her decide, yes, you're the one she wants to hire. Yes, your business is the right one for her. And so that content has got to be out there. So outsourcing is an act of self-preservation. It's a boundary that you get to set to protect your mental health and your time. And when you have a strategic partner in your corner, you know that like they get it and they're getting it done for you. So the 5 steps that we talked about, just to recap, if you're like, oh my gosh, this is definitely resonating. How many of the 5 am I checking the box on? Are number 1, creative fatigue. Number 2, posting inconsistently. Number 3, drowning in time confetti or those little time sucking tasks that don't feel like all that much, but add up to be a lot. Number 4, no measurable results or results that you're just not measuring because you don't have time. And number 5, the secret resentment that is growing in your business or for marketing your business that is dulling your sparkle, that is dampening your zone of genius because you're spending too much time in the thing that doesn't light you up. And you are not alone. You are not the only one. I talk to so many business owners who get to this point that they're like, oh my gosh, I am on a path to burnout and I just don't want to do this anymore. And that's why we're here. We are here to take social media off your to-do list. We are here to be the strategic partner in your corner so that you can get back to your zone of genius. And so whether you're outsourcing to the Consistency Corner or any other social media partner, I just want to give you that permission that you don't have to do it all the time, all alone. It's okay to bring in support and bring in help. And the investment in your business, in the health of your business, is actually going to improve your own health, your own well being, and free you up to not only be the leader your business deserves, but the mom you so desperately want to be. The mom who is not worrying about writing captions from the sideline of a baseball game. The mom who is not scrolling for real ideas in car line, because I don't know about you, social media doesn't even work in our car line. It's like a dead zone, but that's not the point. You want to be the person who is fully present, who is excited about the way your content is representing your business online and know that it is touching your ideal clients when they need to hear it most, because we're using it to call in those ideal clients to your business so that you can fulfill that mission you have to serve her, to help her, to make her life better. And we're amplifying your impact with that strategic content. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this gives you kind of a thought about what to do next. And stay tuned for that delegation download that is coming in September for the map of how to effectively outsource, especially if you've decided that, yes, it is time. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next episode.